afternoon and welcome to Urbana High School as we get set for a crosstown rivalry softball game between the Champaign Central Maroons and your Urbana Tigers. Cloudy skies here, but plenty of wind to make up for lack of sun as we get started here. On the mound for the Tigers is freshman pitcher for Urbana. And the last time that we saw Allison Deck on the Tigers Media Network, she had a heck of a game against Heritage. She'll pick up right here where she left off. Catcher Natalie Stumpf up to the plate for the Maroons. On deck for Central is shortstop Taylor Cribbett and Lexi Williams in the hole. Stumpf goes for a bunt, and rushing the plate is Lexi Williams, who tosses it over for the out. Senior Taylor Cribbett up to the mound. First one in there for a strike. We appreciate you joining us here on the Tigers Media Network as Deck fires in a ball for a 1-1 count now on Cribbett. That one a little bit high, but Allison Deck able to get Taylor Cribbett to swing at it. A 1-2 count now. Here's the delivery from Deck. Low and inside, but fouled off by Cribbett. You can watch Urbana High School sports every Saturday night at 6:30 p.m. on Urbana Public Television, Comcast Xfinity Channel 6 and 1096, AT&T UVerse Channel 99, and i3 Broadband Channel 6 as we see the first strikeout of the game. Credit to Allison Deck as Taylor Cribbett goes down swinging. Pitcher Lexi Williams now up for the Maroons. That one high for ball one. Jason Liggett here with you at the ballpark this afternoon as the wind picks up. And a swinging strike one, so a 1-1 count now on batter Lexi Williams. She swings. That one hit down the third base side and just foul. So the Tigers get lucky on that one. That was in shallow left field there, just past the infield. Would have been good for a single. But it hits in foul territory and rolls out. There's the pitch outside for ball two. And 3 up, 3 down for Allison Deck and the Tigers. She gets Lexi Williams swinging on strike number 3 for the third out of the inning. So no hits on 3 batters as the Tigers going to give their go on the offensive side of the ball. Leading off for the Tigers is center fielder Raven Russell, followed by Ramsey Rose. Allison Deck batting third and pitching Aaron Wright. Batting cleanup and catching, Courtney Falk is at first base and batting fifth. Batting sixth is Marley Glenn in left field. Esri Vesley, followed by Megan Rucker in right field, and Anissa Martinez rounding up the lineup for the Tigers. Lauren MacArthur playing third base for the Maroons. Taylor Cribbett at shortstop. Second base is Ainsley Holland. Over at first, Rachel Burdett. Alex Sutton in left field. Center field is Kelsey Wells. Over in right field, Maggie Paul. Catching for the Maroons is Natalie Stumpf, and on the mound is Lexi Williams. Next week we'll be over at Blackman Field for Urbana Tigers soccer. And I believe that is a game against the Champaign Central Maroons soccer team. So some girls soccer on the Tigers Media Network. That's next week. And I don't remember a spring where we've been blessed with such good weather. Usually out at the ballpark we have a couple of real cold, windy days, but not as of yet anyway. We've had pleasant weather here at both here at the high school and at Prairie Park. So hopefully that trend continues for our sake as we see Raven Russell coming up to the plate for the Tigers. First pitch from Williams in there for strike number one. Russell looks down to Coach Billy Harmon on how they'll want to attack this at bat. That one inside for a ball. 1-1 the count now. And that one high for ball number two. As we hear the wind pick up, and Raven Russell gets a hold of that one, hits it to shallow left field, and she's in safely at first. So a leadoff single for the Tigers. And Ramsey Rose coming to the plate now. She lays down a bunt, picture perfect, as both runners are going to be safe. Raven Russell advances to second, and Rose is safe at first. Central couldn't really get to that ball to have a play on it. That'll bring up freshman Allison Deck. See if she can add to her own cause here. No out, runners on first and second. Here's the pitch from Williams. She gets a hold of that one. It's popped up high and going to be out of play. Here's the 0-1 delivery from Lexi. And Deck swings away at strike number two. So 0-2 the count now to Allison Deck. If memory serves correct, we saw her have an RBI triple during that perfect game that she pitched. Or at least an RBI. Maybe it was an RBI single, but nonetheless, she can do it both on the mound and at the plate. We'll see if she gets anything going here. That one high and outside for ball two. 2-2 count now. Full count. And that one low and inside, but Allison puts a bat to the ball and grounds that one foul in Coach Billy Harmon's direction. So we'll reset the scene once again here. No out. Runners on first and second. Bottom of the first. Full count. She gets a hold of that one. It's ripped. And there we go. A home run from Allison Deck. And just like that, the Tigers take a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. She got a hold of that ball and makes it count as she stops on home plate right there. A 3-0 lead for the Tigers. So here's catcher Erin Wright up to the plate. We've called her name a lot over the years and hope to do the same this afternoon. There's the pitch from Williams. Tigers continue to be a little bit ahead of the ball. That one grounded down the third baseline. That pitch from Williams high for ball one, so a 1-1 count now to the Tigers catcher. She hits that one to left field, might be caught, and it is. Good play by left fielder for Champaign Central Maroons. Alexa Sutton tracking that ball down in the wind. So one out now as Tigers have already plated 3. Courtney Falk up to the plate for the Tigers. A little behind that one as strike number 1 swinging. Pitch number 2 is low and inside to even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Tigers lead 3-0, bottom of the first. Falk grounds it to third, see if she can turn the wheels on. That throw is high. She will make it into first base safely. E5 on the play as Falk reaches first base safely, and that will bring up left fielder Marley Glenn. That ball gets away, and Falk's going to take second. Glenn, a senior this year. She'll be crossing the stage at the State Farm Center next month. We'll, of course, have coverage of the Urbana High School graduation. You can stream that live on the NFHS network. It's May 25th at 11 a.m. We'll also, of course, show that on Urbana Public Television. That one high above Marley Glenn's head. 2 balls and 1 strike. On a windy day like this, going to play havoc with the outfielders, I have a feeling. That's why it was such a good play from Champaign Central's Alexa Sutton to track that 1 ball. I thought that might be high enough for the wind to blow it around a little bit, and I think it might have. So good job by Sutton there. Here's the pitch from Williams. Glenn gets a hold of that one. It's going to be fouled off onto Washington Street behind us. deep into the outfield territory, though, so good contact from Glenn. Glenn gets a hold of that one and snagged by the right fielder. But that was a line drive into the outfield. Thought something was going to cook there, but a nice snag from Maggie Paul. So Glenn lines out. And Esri Vesely up to the plate for the Tigers. Tigers with a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. There's 2 out. Runner on second is Aaron Wright. There's the pitch for a strike. Steve Waller sighting here. He's zooming around on the golf cart. Nice rip there from Vesely, and looks like that's foul ball down the third base side. Tough to see once it gets past about third base. Got the visitors' dugout in our view right there, but we'll do our best to call the action. Two and two count now to Esri Vesely. That one fouled off the mask of the umpire. He looks to be all right. And that one high. It'll be a full count now to Esri. That one fouled up behind us. Almost to me. If I would have dove, I could have caught it. Vesely gets a hold of that one. It's ripped to left field, and another nice play out there from Alexa Sutton in the Champaign Central Maroons. So a couple of good rips there by the Tigers, but not able to get Aaron Wright across the plate as they leave one stranded. They do get 3 runs in the bottom of the first, though, as we're headed to the top of the second inning with Urbana on top, 3-0. Due up for the Maroons is Alexa Sutton, as we called her name a few times that last inning. On deck, Kelsey Wells, the center fielder, and Laura MacArthur, who's playing third base today in the hole for Champaign Central. And as people tend to do with these 4:30 games, kind of coming in shifts. So we're starting to build a crowd here at the Urbana High School softball field. That one in there for strike one. That one fired in there as Alexa swung for strike two, so a 1-2 count here. The Maroons trying to get something going offensively. Just top of the second inning, but the Tigers were able to mount a 3-0 lead in the bottom of the first. Jason Liggett with you on the Tigers Media Network. That one above the head of the second baseman and into right field. So Alexa Sutton, the first base runner of the afternoon for the Maroons, as she has a single. That'll bring up center fielder Kelsey Wells to the plate. She looks to lay down a bunt. That's fielded by Deck as she tosses over for the out. Covering the bag was Anissa Martinez. That one fouled back into the parking lot. MacArthur up to the plate now as she goes for another bunt. That's fielded fair. And Aaron Wright does a good job grabbing that ball and tossing it over to first for the out. So the Maroons have a runner on third now as the wind picks up. And up to the plate is Rachel Burdett. So a single in this inning from Alexa Sutton, followed by 2 sac bunts, and Alexa finds herself on third base in scoring position for the Maroons. Burdett fouls that one back behind the plate. And nearly identical that go round. So 0-2 the count. We'll see if Allison Deck fires one in there outside for strike number 3 as Burdett swings. So the Maroons leave one stranded on third base in Alexa Sutton. No runs come across as we're headed to the bottom of the second, the Tigers leading 3-0. Due up for the Tigers is right fielder Megan Rucker with Anissa Martinez on deck. Rucker up to the plate, see if she can get something going. Top of the first, she fouls that one back over Washington Street to a nearby neighbor. That one grounded to short and underneath the legs of Taylor Cribbett. So Rucker reaching first safely. That'll bring up Martinez for the Tigers. Martinez fairly active on the field so far with all these bunts from Central. She's been covering first a lot or rushing to grab one of those bunts. We'll see what she can do up at the plate now with a runner on first and nobody out in the bottom of the second. She goes for a bunt of her own and fouls that one back. That one low for ball one. She gets that ball delivered inside and gets a single out of it. She advances the runner to second, and they fire the ball over to first and over the head of the first baseman, and going safely into third is Megan Rucker. Russell going to head down to third base and talk with Coach Billy Harmon before her at bat, as meeting on the mound for the Champaign Central Maroons as they trail 3-0 and aren't looking really to go behind by much more, but the Tigers pressing them here in the bottom of the second. No out, runners on the corners. In a short meeting as we're ready to play baseball again. Softball, rather. Russell 1 for 1 on the day with a single back in the first inning. And Anissa Martinez steals second. And no effort from the Maroons to throw that ball down to second, as they know that Tigers have a runner on first base in Rucker, or third base rather. Russell fouls that one back behind us. And no, I thought that was going to be out of play. It is not. A very good catch and good job staying with that one is Champaign Central Maroons catcher Natalie Stumpf. So Russell fouls that one back behind the plate, and it is caught. Shortstop Ramsey Rose up to the plate for Urbana. She's 1 for 1 on the day with a single back in the first. She's got 2 runners in scoring position. Anissa Martinez on second, Megan Rucker on third. There's the pitch. She gets a hold of that one, and it's fouled down the third baseline. Pitch to Rose, and she's going to foul that one back as it rolls onto Washington Street. So 1-2 the count here to Rose. See if she can get out. And get a hold of this one. She does just that. It's popped up. And I think the wing got a hold of that one, played a little havoc, and the Tigers are going to have a run from across the plate here. An RBI single from Ramsey Rose. So runners on the corner here for Urbana, a 4-0 lead, and Harmon wants to talk things over with Allison Deck before she gets her at bat. Deck, responsible for 3 RBIs. She had a 3-run homer back in the first. This will be a close play up first, but not able to come up with it, and Anissa Martinez coming across the plate for Urbana. So now a 5-0 lead. That ball was fired ahead. That one fouled back. So Stumpf did a nice job of getting that ball out ahead of the runner, but shortstop Taylor Cribbett not able to come up with it here. And the Tigers get one across, and going safely into first base, or second base, was Rose. That one eye level on Deck for ball number 2. Well, temperature-wise, a nice day for softball. Weather-wise, it's a bit windy. Some gusts of wind making things interesting today. Deck draws the walk. That brings up Aaron Wright with runners on first and second. Wright 0 for 1 on the day. She popped out back in the first inning. Lexi Williams fires that one in there for strike number 1. That one popped up in the infield. Coming up with it is second base for the Champaign Central Maroons, Ainsley Holland. So 2 outs now for the Tigers as Courtney Falk up to the plate. She reached first base on an E5 back in the first. That one low for ball 2, so 0-2 the count, or 2-0 the count now. The Tigers look to add to their 5-0 lead here in the bottom of the second. Perhaps an ill-advised swing there. That one a little low, maybe a little inside for Falk, but she goes for it and not able to connect. And that one hits Falk. So Falk headed to first base. Bases loaded. And senior Marley Glenn up to the plate. Marley had a nice hit. Lined out to right field back in the first. She swings just underneath that one for strike number 1. On a 1-1 count, she pops that one up. It's high and not able to come up with it are the Central Maroons. 2 come across to score. And it is a 7-0 ball game now. A nice hit from Marley Glenn as she goes safely to first. That wind blowing in probably blew that ball in a little bit on the right fielder who had a play on it, Maggie Paul, but not able to come in quick enough. Here's Glenn going to steal second, and she does just that. So now runners on second and third for Esri Vesley. She swings at that, ripped into center field. 1 run will score. Second one coming around, and in safely is Marley Glenn. The Tigers take a 9-0 lead here in the bottom of the second. And Urbana has batted around. Megan Rucker led off this inning, and she's back up to the plate. Nice hit there from Rucker. It goes into left field. It advances the runner to second base. Now runners on first and second for Martinez. Martinez takes a healthy hack at that one, but does not connect as strike 1 goes into the catcher's mitt. She's 1 for 1 on the day. Had a single earlier this inning. And same pitch right over again. That one fouled back and out of play. One high for ball 1, so a 1-2 count here as 2 out in the bottom of the second. Tigers have runners on first and second. Here's the delivery from Williams. That one popped up in the infield. Runners are going and everyone is safe and advancing home. It does roll foul. I was getting just as excited as the players and the other crowd members here. That one was right in the middle of the field. Didn't think it'd roll all the way foul, but had some backspin to it. So it rolls foul. Runners back to first and second. And Martinez back up at the plate with a 1-2 count. Ball number 2 a little high. So 2-2 now to Anissa Martinez. She pops that one straight up, right over home plate. And coming up with the catch in the third out of the inning is Natalie Stumpf for the Central Maroons. So the Tigers get 6 across. They leave 2 stranded, but they lead 9-0 as we go to the top of the third inning. So a very nice inning offensively put together there in the bottom of the second by the Urbana Tigers. They get 6 runners across. They had 3 runs come across in the first, and they now lead 9-0. Ainsley Holland up to the plate for the Maroons. It's her first bat of the afternoon. Another bunt opportunity. That one missed by the third baseman, and she's going to be safe over at first. So Vesley got down on that ball, but not quite enough. Allison Deck was there to back her up, fired over to first, but by that point, Holland had already made safely to first. Maggie Paul has a nice rip to the parking lot on that one. 0-1 count now. The Maroons looking for another bunt right there. But a strike called, so 0-2 the count here with a runner on first. She signals bunt again, and that one, a ball. And she goes to foul that bunt off for out 1 of the inning. Catcher Natalie Stumpf up to the plate. That one zips past her, but a little high for ball 1. Central had a base runner last inning, made it all the way over to third base, and then Maroons couldn't get her across the plate. They lead off with a base runner this inning and now have 1 out. We'll see if Stumpf can advance Holland. That one in there for a strike. Showed bunt again, and the runner not there. So good effort from Aaron Wright to fire that right over to first. Falk turned around, and the runner had already advanced to second. So quick speed there from Holland. Runner in scoring position now for the Maroons as that one fouled off. And that was the third strike for the Maroons. So 2 out now. Shortstop Taylor Cribbett to the plate. Cribbett goes for a bunt down the third base side. Rushing is Vesley, tried to fire that one to first, but not quite in time. Vesley up to the plate. And Maroons are going to get their first run of the game. So Lexi Williams was at the plate. A ball was pitched. It went back to Allison Deck, and as the runner was trying to steal second, Allison a little bit off on her throw to second base, and that one went to the outfield, and coming across to score for the Maroons was Ainsley Holland. So a 9-1 ball game now. Tigers lead. And 1-2 the count here. And swing and a miss. So the Maroons leave one stranded. They get one across the plate. And the Tigers lead by 8 as we head to the bottom of the third. And I believe Raven Russell will be leading off for Urbana. Russell 1 for 2 on the day. She had a single back in the first and pop-out foul just behind home plate back in the second inning. Perhaps we'll see some substitutions here. Looks like the Maroons have a new pitcher. And it's Alexa Sutton. So Sutton, who was out in left field, now on the mound for Champaign Central. And we'll find out more about those substitutions once the Maroons get back on the offensive side of things. Ball number 1 hits in front of home plate in the dirt. And ball number 2 high over the head of Champaign Central Maroons catcher. So might take a couple batters here, or at least a couple pitches for Sutton to feel in the groove for Champaign Central. And a couple of balls was it. She fires in strike number 1. 2-1 count now on Russell. Russell rips that one into right center. She's going to be safe at first base. She rounds the bag but decides to stay put. Ramsey Rose 2 for 2 on the day with a single and an RBI single. See if the shortstop can reach base for the third time this afternoon. Russell going to steal, and she slides in safely. So Tigers have a runner in scoring position now with Russell at second base. No out in the bottom of the third. They lead by 8, 9-1. On deck for the Tigers is pitcher Allison Deck. That one fouled back into the parking lot. So Raven Russell on second. No out in the inning, and it's a full count here to Ramsey Rose. Here's the pitch, and Rose fouls that one back. It's the stop sign back there with the bounce. Rose fouls that one up right as a gust of wind comes. Could be trouble, but Champaign Central able to come up with it, and Rose pops out. Good job by number 20, Lauren MacArthur at third base. Allison Deck had that 3-run homer back in the first to jumpstart this offensive drive for the Tigers. Walked back in the second inning. Want to know the count and make it 2-0 is ball number 2 delivered right there from Alexa Sutton. That one ripped into the outfield, left field. Looks like it's going to be a foul ball. No one was able to get to that one. So a full count now to Allison Deck in the Urbana Tigers. Fired in there. Deck rips that one, but it is foul. That was definitely home run length, but needs to just straighten it out there. So runner on second, just one out in the inning. Full count to Deck, and she swings on that one and goes down on strikes. And looks like we have a sub here from Coach Billy Harmon. Alexis Stallworth up to the plate now in place of Aaron Wright. Good cut there from Stallworth. Fouls that one back for strike one. Wind continues as the temperature drops a little bit here in Urbana. Almost light jacket weather. Outside of that, I've been in a t-shirt all afternoon, so some a little bit unseasoned warm temperatures here. Some 77, I think, was the high today. That one low and inside for a ball. Here's a pitch from Sutton to Stallworth. And Stallworth fouls that one back. So a full count. 2 out here. In the bottom of the third, the Tigers up by 8 with Raven Russell on second base. And a swing and a miss. So for the first time this afternoon, the Tigers don't get any across the plate. They leave one stranded with Raven Russell on second as they lead by 8. It's a 9-1 ball game. We're headed to the top of the 4th inning here at Urbana High School. Sutton leading off for the Maroons. Strike number 1 fired in there from Deck. Ooh, and a nice rip there from Sutton, but right into the glove of Esri Vesley over at third base. So 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the 4th. Kelsey Wells shows bunt, as is par for the course here this afternoon for Champaign Central. Trying to get anything going offensively. They got a run across last inning to cut the Tigers' lead to 8. That one popped up, and not able to come up with it are the Tigers. And going in safely to first base is Kelsey Wells. So Champaign Central brings up Laura MacArthur to the plate. She had a sac bunt back in the 2nd inning. Now one low and inside. Good job by Anissa Martinez to get in front of that. Anissa Martinez starting off the game at second base, now behind the plate. As out at second is Alexa Stallworth. Stallworth came into the game the bottom half of the third inning to replace Aaron Wright at the plate. Another good rip there by the Champaign Central Maroons, and everyone's safe on both second and first for a single. Martinez tosses to third for the out. Good heads-up play there from Anissa Martinez behind the plate as she catches Wells trying to steal. That one bunted foul. So that was a big out by the Tigers for Martinez to pick off that runner. It's the second out of the inning. And now just a runner on first in Lauren MacArthur. And the third and final out of the inning is Rachel Burdett swinging and striking out at the hands of Allison Wells. So the Maroons leave one stranded. They don't get any across the plate, and the Tigers still lead by 8, 9-1, as we're headed to the bottom of the fourth inning here at Urbana High School. Jason Liggett with you on the Tigers Media Network. We appreciate you tuning in, whether that's on YouTube, youtube.com/UPTV6, or whether you're watching on cable television, Comcast Xfinity's Channel 6 and 1096, AT&T UVerse Channel 99, and i3 Broadband Channel 6. You can watch Urbana High School sports every Saturday night on UPTV at 6:30 p.m. We'll have soccer coming up next week. Still have a couple baseball games on tap and another softball game as well this spring. Courtney Falk playing first for the Tigers this afternoon and leads off the fourth inning for Urbana. She was hit by a pitch her last time up. That one fouled straight back into the parking lot and rolling on to Washington. That one fouled off for strike number 2, so an 0-2 count here. See what Alexa Sutton can come up with here on the mound for the Maroons. Sutton fires that one low. Hits the dirt just in front of the plate for ball number 1. And she swings at that one, does not connect, so Fout goes down on strikes. That'll bring up left fielder Marley Glenn. Glenn 1 for 2 on the afternoon with a single and 2 RBIs back in the second. She made good contact with the ball in the first inning, lining out to right field. Nice hit again, and that one's going to stay fair and hit the ground there in left field. So a nice rip from Marley Glenn to get a double. So 1 out. Urbana's got a base runner on second. That brings up Esri Vesley. Vesley had 2 RBIs back in the second inning on a single. She popped out in the first. There's a nice swing, infield fly. See if Central can come up with it, and they do. Routine play there for Champaign Central Maroons, Rachel Burdett over at first. Here's Owens for the Tigers. She takes a hack at that one, not able to connect. That one popped up into center field, and Central Maroon comes up with that. So Marley Glenn gives the ball a nice ride, gets a double out of it, but the Tigers unable to come up with anything else offensively. They leave one stranded, don't get any across the plate as we're headed to the top of the fifth. The Tigers up 9-1. Deck will remain on the mound for Urbana. And up to the plate for the Champaign Central Maroons is Ainsley Holland. Holland has bunted twice to get on base this afternoon. She's 2 for 2 back in the second and third innings. Believe she's the one who came around to score back in the third. So she represents Champaign Central's lone run on the scoreboard. So a 1-1 count here to Holland. That one fired in there for strike number 2. That ball low and inside, gets away from Martinez. No one on base, so no worries there. First batter of the inning. She gets a hold of that one. It is popped, but in foul territory. Good effort from Owens and Stallworth to chase that ball down, but not able to come up with anything. That one tipped to the pitcher. Deck fires over for out number 1. Right fielder Maggie Paul up to the plate for the Maroons. She's 0 for 1 on the afternoon. She thought about swinging there and might as well have gone all the way around as strike number 2 called. Another one low and inside. Gets away from Anissa Martinez. Swing and a miss there, and a strikeout. That'll bring up Champaign Central Maroon catcher Natalie Stumpf to the plate. She's 0 for 2 on the day. A little bit of a jump there from Stumpf as that ball came inside, came close to her shins, but thankfully no connection made. Three balls and a strike here to Natalie Stumpf. Here's the delivery from Deck. It's in there for strike 2, so a full count. That one fouled up, and Vesely ran towards that one, trying to come up with it, but not able to do so. Good effort from Esri, but doesn't come up with it, and a single for Stumpf. Shortstop Taylor Cribbett to the plate for the Maroons as, I thought Stumpf was going to go for it there. Martinez did as well. She popped up ready to fire to second to pick off that runner, but I think Stumpf saw her coming and wisely moved back to first. Some aggressive base running here by Stumpf. She looked like she was going again. Did not, though. She remains at first, and the batter is Cribbett at the plate. Here's the delivery from Deck. That one's a strike. Martinez fires, but just not quite in time there. As getting into second base safely is Natalie Stumpf. And that'll end the inning as Taylor Cribbett goes down swinging. Another strikeout for Allison Deck. The Maroons leave one stranded, don't get any across the plate in the top of the 5th inning there, and it's a 9-1 ball game in favor of your Urbana Tigers. Anissa Martinez is going to leave it off the bottom of the 5th inning here for Urbana. She's 1 for 2 on the day. with a single back in the second inning and popped out back in the second inning as well. So the Tigers batted around the order back in the second. That one in there for strike number one, an 0-1 count now. And here's the delivery from Sutton. That one fouled back. 0-2. Martinez started off the afternoon at second base. She's now behind the plate, catching the ball for the Tigers. Sutton gets the strikeout there. Raven Russell, center fielder for the Urbana Tigers, up to the plate now. She's 2 for 3 on the day with 2 singles. That one perhaps a little high, but falls back into the strike zone, I guess, for strike number one. That one popped back behind us and out of play. Almost struck a car driving back there, but they stopped as they saw that one coming. Raven reaches up and gets a hold of that one. Little blooper into left field, and she's safe at first base. So her third single of the afternoon brings up shortstop Ramsey Rose. Rose 2 for 3 on the day with a couple of singles. An RBI back in the second inning. We'll see what Rose can do here in the bottom of the fifth. She signals bunt and draws back. 1-0 count as Rose looks down to Coach Billy Harmon there on third base. She rips one in Harmon's direction, but it goes bouncing foul. Russell hustles on over to second base, slides in safely. So now the Tigers have Russell on second. Rose still at the plate. And the high heat there gets Rose swinging. 2-2 the count. It's Alexa Sutton with the delivery, and that one's high. And Russell out at second, saw her ready to run at if there was a passed ball in that situation. But Stumpf able to haul that one in. Full count, Rose makes contact. And the Maroons get Rose out at first, but reaching third base safely is Raven Russell. So 2 down here in the bottom of the fifth. The Tigers have a runner on third. Champaign Central coach comes out for an explanation. Perhaps Russell Got a little bit out of the baseline, avoiding the tag there from the shortstop. Although it looked like the shortstop wasn't even considering Russell, she fired over to first in a hurry for the out. Deck up to the plate for the Tigers. She makes good contact with that, as we've seen her do a couple times already this afternoon. Unfortunately, foul down the third base side. She's 1 for 2 on the day with a walk back in the second. She swings at that one, straightens it out, should be caught by the shortstop, and is for the third and final out of the fifth inning. So the Tigers leave one stranded, don't get any across the plate. And we are headed to the top of the sixth, as the Tigers lead by 8. It's a 9-1 ball game here at Urbana High School. Cromer goes down on strikes there. And that's going to bring up pitcher Alexa Sutton. That one down and in the dirt for ball one. And that one on a line to Urbana High School's second baseman, Alexis Stallworth. Alexis, and not able to come up with the catch. She tosses over to first, a close play at first, but getting in there safely is Sutton. So Sutton, a base runner now, and she's going to reach second base on that one. Passed ball after Kelsey Wells swung at it. Wells goes for the bunt and fouls that one back. So one out here, top of the sixth inning. The Maroons trailing by 8. Strike number 2 delivered there, but Martinez not able to come up with that ball, and reaching third base is Sutton. So runner on third here for the Maroons. That one fouled down, and the Tigers opt for the out and let Sutton score. So the Maroons get one across the plate here in the sixth, as they're up, or they trail to the Tigers 9-2 now. That one inside to MacArthur. 1-2 the count here. Here's the delivery from Allison Deck. That one popped up. Don't think Martinez realized quite where that ball was, but fouled back behind her. So we'll set the scene once again. Here's the pitch from Deck. That one fouled back into the parking lot. 1-2 the count here with 2 out in the bottom of the 6th. The Maroons have scored here in the bottom of the 6th to make it a 7-run ball game. She gets a hold of that one, but it is ripped foul. Some good contact there from MacArthur. And swings at strike number 3. So the Maroons get one across the plate as they trail by 7. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's Urbana 9, Champaign Central 2. Alexis Stallworth leading off the bottom of the 6th here for the Tigers. She's 0 for 1 on the afternoon. Struck out back in the 3rd. Sun peeking out from the clouds here, giving us some long shadows. And probably creating a little bit of a pain for those in center field and left field. See if we can get a pop out right there. But she draws the walk. That brings up Falk to the plate. Alexis Stallworth puts on the wheels and slides in safely to second base. Faulk looks at ball number 2. Marley Glenn on deck for the Tigers. Besley in the hole as ball number 3 delivered high. 3-0 the count. We'll see what Sutton comes up with here. That one in there for strike number 1. That one popped up, and thankfully the catcher for Central was not quite aware where that ball was, and now it's a 2-2 count. So runners on the corners now for Urbana, and Glenn up for the Tigers. Back-to-back walks issued by Sutton. And Glenn does a nice job grounding that one into center field, and coming across the plate to score is Stallworth. So Glenn with an RBI single. After back-to-back walks issued by Sutton. So the Tigers lead 10-2. With Esri Vesley to the plate, she lines one into left field. We'll see if the Tigers can come around, and Billy Harmon holds them up there, so bases loaded with no out. And J.C. Owens up to the plate for the Tigers. J.C. 0 for 1 on the afternoon. She popped out back in the 4th. J.C. takes a first healthy hack at that one, and foul and out of play. So 0-1 the count here to J.C. Owens. It's a 10-2 ball game here in the bottom of the 6th. The sun peeking out of the clouds for the first time this afternoon, and the wind continues to blow in towards the left base side. Ball gets away from the catcher, but the Tigers don't go, and probably a wise call there with the short backstop here at Urbana High School softball field. No out here as the Tigers look to add to their lead. That one, low and inside, delivery from Sutton. And Champaign Central Maroons coach wants to talk things over with his pitcher and catcher. See what they want to do here. Not a position that favors them, with the Tigers having runners on all bases and nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. Urbana's lead is at 8 runs, 10-2. She pops this one up. Ainsley Holland out at second base for the Maroons. Catches that one. Records the first out of the inning. Anissa Martinez back up to the plate for the Tigers. She's 1 for 3 on the day. She hits this one, and it's going rolling into right field. 1 run across, 2 runs across, and Anissa gets a double out of it with 2 runs scoring, and that'll do it. 10-run mercy rule here in the bottom of the 6th inning will cap off this Tigers home victory. It's a 12-2 win for Billy Harmon's squad. They got 3 runs across on a 3-run homer from pitcher Allison Deck back in the 1st inning. A big 6-run 2nd inning. And they had a few runs here in the bottom of the 6th to make it a 12-2 ball game. Thanks so much for watching this edition of Urbana High School softball as they are once again victorious over the Champaign Central Maroons 12-2 here at Urbana High School. I'm Jason Liggett. We'll see you again next time on the Tigers Media Network.